Well, Slanche do buckaroos, how the heck are ya? Columbus Brewing Bodhi Double India Pale Ale, 8.3%. I did the hazy. I accidentally grabbed the hazy first instead of the regular. But quite frankly, this is a tad on the hazy side, too. The other one's hazier, but you can't see through this one, so let's see what they're going for here. I was kind of hoping that, so I had the regular IPA yesterday, and I really liked that one a lot because it felt more like a classic East Coast IPA before the hazy, for the New England, the hazy and juicy craze. So I was hoping this would be a more of a double version of that, but clearly not, because I mean that's very hazy, man. And to be honest with you, I should have done them both right next to each other because they look a lot alike, and the aromas are very very similar as well. I'm getting predominantly orange on the nose, not an orange zest. So the other one was more juice on it, very juicy on the nose. Here I am picking up more zest, a little sharper. It's a little crisper in the finish, but again, a lot of the flavors are they might come at just slightly different, but a lot of the same flavors. A lot of big orange right away. Might find some grapefruit, I don't know, but it's very light. Some stone fruit in the middle, much like the other one as well. And kind of mixed zest in the finish. It is. I'm feeling more citrus and less tropical fruit here. But it is very similar. I'm really, I mean, to me, it looks like a hazy. Doesn't look New England-ish per se, but I've had hazy IPAs less hazy than this. You certainly can't see through it. It's not a deep golden like a West Coast. Yeah, it's not bad. Again, a lot of big fruit, and that's apparently that's what they're going for here. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. I feel like what they've done here is done well. It's just not necessarily the IPA that I'm looking for on the regular, especially now that we're knee deep into fall. However, it is done well. Everything I've had from Columbus has been done extremely well. So there you go. A lot of it just comes down to individual taste preference. And that's what a lot of folks just don't seem to understand. Just because you don't like a beer, just because it doesn't really fit your personal taste profile, doesn't make it a bad beer. And that's what I wish so-called beer reviewers would start getting right. Just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's a bad beer. Is it flawed? If you can't point out any very specific flaws, you shouldn't say it's a bad beer. You should say something more, it's done well, but it doesn't work for me. And in the case of this one, it is done well. And it's not necessarily that it doesn't work for me. It's just not a style that I lean into. I do like the beer, and it certainly is one. If I get back to the Columbus, Ohio area again, it's certainly an IPA I would revisit. It's just not an IPA I would specifically seek out. I did enjoy the breweries I hit. I guess I kind of wanted to hit more, but I also felt like if I had hit more breweries, I would have missed other things that I saw here, or other things that I did out there. It was going to be a trade off. I was going to miss some areas, but there was one area in particular that I really wanted to get to that I didn't, but just ran out of time, man. I thought with 5 days I'd have plenty of time, but nah, just got away from me, man. And quite frankly, man, and I can't believe I'm the one that's saying this, but you can only drink so much beer, and I'm really struggling lately. It was getting tough on the vacation too, because I'm having problems drinking more than two beers at a time. I'm having to really take a break after two beers. We'll wait a substantial amount of time before I can have another one. I'm feeling bloated. I don't typically like to order flights, but I found myself doing that on a couple occasions. But when the option was there, instead of doing flights, I was ordering half pours or 8 or 10 ounce, whatever they had. I prefer to go that way than to do flights, to be honest with you. Because in some case, you order a flight, they're usually a 5 ounce glass you're talking about. Most have, not all, but some are 4 ounce glass, some are 5 ounce glasses. Most have four to a flight. Some even more, some three, but some 4 or 5. Anyway, you're typically talking about 20 ounces of beer in a flight. But if I was trying to hit several breweries, I would opt to having one half pour and then move along. One of the places I hit in Indianapolis, actually the first brewery I hit in Indianapolis, Chili Water, I just had one half pour and I bought a 4-pack to go because I wanted to hit several others that day. But anytime a half pour was available, I opted for that, both in Indianapolis and in Columbus. I really enjoy the half pour option. It's typically not as frugal because you're typically going to pay more for a 10 ounce beer per ounce than you would a pint. You're paying less, but you're paying more per ounce. So I guess that's what you need to look at. For me, that's something I kind of struggled with as well. But when I was trying to get more breweries in, I just thought, okay, let's get a half pour. We'll move along. We'll get another half pour. We'll move along. A lot of the same flavors and aromas here as the hazy. What I will say, the flavors and aromas are sharper, not quite as lingering as the fruit notes in the hazy, but there's certainly a lot of similarities. So there you go. Anyways, I digress. But I digress, man. Having them both together, one right after the other, probably wasn't the greatest idea because I'm tasting the same things. But again, I want to reiterate that both beers are done perfectly well. There's nothing wrong with either. It just comes down to taste preference. So there you go. I am Tom, the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, Pereira's all around good guy. Sláinte.